What's up, guys? So as you can see in the background, we got that Equinox motor all mounted up. We're gonna begin Operation Blacked Out Equinox, we're gonna call it. We'll call it Operation Murdered Out. Got this thing mounted up. I pulled the car back out, getting ready to go through some of my phases on this one. We're gonna start pulling it apart, but I wanted to catch you guys up to speed on my plan on this one. Obviously, you know, we got this motor out of a 2012 Chevy Equinox with the, I think this one had the updated pistons. They redid a few things. Most of it, I believe, was internal compared to the 2010s, the LAFs. So they got the LAF motors, the 2010s, those were the real bad ones that burned oil, the weak rings. I believe the only thing they really changed was the internals. I'm thinking maybe the cam. If you guys know about these things, leave comments down below. But we're gonna go ahead and do this. I think the only thing we're gonna have to change is the intake cam and actuator, maybe possibly the high flow fuel pump, and the throttle body from the old motor's got to get switched over to this one. But before I go ripping the head off of this one, I want to run back through it, and we're going to pull the timing cover off and check the chain, see if there's slack in it. I believe that was the issue with this one, but I want to make sure. And then what I'm probably going to do is check the cylinder walls. Maybe drop down the camera inside the cylinders and see how those cylinder walls look. So let me get you guys set up, get everything, kind of give you guys my thoughts, and then we'll get set up and rip this timing cover off, see where we're at. All right, guys. So we got the snap-on camera here. Still got to do. I'll be doing a review on this coming up real shortly here. So great camera, great wireless camera. But what I want to do is, before we go wasting any time, I just want to drop down the. I got the spark plugs pulled out. I want to drop this camera down in there, maybe rotate it and see if we could get a good look at these cylinder walls, see what they look like, what kind of shape they're in. This one only had 60,000 on it, and I mean, I guess we'll know when we pull the timing off, but I don't even want to bother pulling the timing off if we see damaged cylinder walls. So let's get into this, guys. Let's get set up here. I got the screen here, getting ready to check number one. Get a good view at this thing. Let me get you guys set up to where you can see that screen without the glare. There we go. Just zoomed in a bit. And it looks like we could actually switch to the side view camera here. Check these cylinder walls. Give it a spin. They actually look really, this one looks really nice. That light is giving us a glare. Let's turn on that light a bit. Makes it to where you can't see. But let's see if we can get this piston to drop down a bit. Can't tell, is it? Is it damage? It looks like, I don't know if you guys are picking that up, but that looks like valve damage. Looks like the valve might have, no, I think it might be just dirt. Let me get this thing all the way to bottom. I keep hearing a click and the chain's definitely messed up. I can definitely feel that. If you guys listen, you can hear it right there. You hear it click. That's definitely skipping teeth there. But I don't know if it's enough to see it. And anyways, the valve wouldn't. No, we're looking good, because that's where the valve, those dips there, these cutouts here on the top of the piston, the relief cuts, is where the valves would hit anyways. Over here, I think that's just some char. This other side doesn't look too great either though, but where I was worried about is like dead in the middle. And I think we're looking good so far. I might want to just pull this head, I don't know. We got some carbon buildup on the walls there. Yeah, that's just dirt there. All right, that's number one. Oh, gross. There's a view of the cylinder walls here. This thing's definitely filled with dirt, but it's been sitting on my shop floor for days with the spark plugs out of it. But I'm not seeing any gouges, just a whole lot of dirt. All right, take a good look at this piston now. And we could see those same marks on it. I might have to just pull this head, guys. I haven't decided. We still may pull off the head, but I want to open this timing cover and see what's making all that ruckus with the timing chain when you turn the crank. All right, got you guys set up. Start off by pulling the harmonic down, sir. I don't think you need a puller for this, but if we do, we'll grab one. Wonky. Kick spot. Yeah, that pops right off. Let's get a little keyway in there. Start pulling. Cam cover off. Look at that. Ripped it. Wait till you see this, guys. So here's the front of it. And this is a piece of guide. It's supposed to cover this. And look at the amount of play we got there. So I'm pretty worried about valve damage here. I think I might have to pull the head. Where'd the piece go too? Not seeing it, but it looks like it sheared. The chain sheared the top of it right off. You could see it rubbing on the bottom here. Sheared the top right off. We'll probably end up pulling the head off of this thing. At least cleaning the top of those pistons, but I want to get a closer look at those cylinder walls and the tops of the pistons and the bottom portion of the valves. So we'll probably pull this head. All right, guys. So I can't find that piece. I can't find it anywhere. I'm peeking down in the pan. No, I can't really pull the pan off because I'm using the pan bolts to hold the motor on the stand. But I remember it was at the dealership and they probably had the rocker cover off. They probably found that piece and got it. And you know, it kind of all started coming back to me. I remember this engine had no compression. I'm fairly certain the way the timing chain broke that these valves are gonna be toast. You know, I'm pretty sure we're gonna pull the head off and we get ready to pull the head off. But I'm pretty sure that probably every single one of these valves are no good. I mean, at that point, is it starting from scratch? I don't know. It depends on the way those pistons look. I mean, I'm not going to do a full-blown rebuild on this thing because, you know, I plan on maybe paying this car forward. You know, I don't want to sink too much into it and things like that. But I'm going to set you guys up. We're going to pull this head off. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some bent valves in there and at least some nicks on the pistons. Judging by the way the timing chain broke and her spinning it and the dealership spinning it and I spun it and when it got here to check compression. I mean, I don't know. I think this motor's just gonna be too far gone. But I guess we'll pull it apart and find out and then we'll see what we gotta do from there. But I'm 100% that these valves are gonna be bent. We'll see what it looks like when we get this head off. So let's do it, guys. I don't care if they break sockets on this. 24 holding cam. Pop it loose. Got off. Down there. Start pulling this head. Crazy with it. All right. And right away, you can see they were hitting on the pistons. Let's get this dumb head gasket out of the way. Soak up some of this coolant. All right, guys. So here's what the pistons look like. You can see they definitely made a little contact with it. I mean, it's real minimal. I'll get them up to top dead center and recheck them, but that's what they all look like. But the real damage here is in the head. You can see, actually when I flipped this thing over, the roller rocker started just falling out, and I left the cams in too, so, but you can see all stuck open. That was my no compression. They're all bent from making contact with the pistons. And I'm guessing the piston's obviously stronger than the valve, so it really just damaged the valve and not the piston so much. So I'm gonna have to sit down and decide what I'm gonna do, whether I get a new head for this thing, all new valves for this one. I don't know. I'm gonna get this thing stripped down and see where we're gonna go from here. All right, stop the work music for a minute. Catch you guys up here. So got the head off. Obviously we know the valves were messed up. Got the head there on the parts bench, the workbench there. Took it apart. I'll show you guys that. But this block here, you can see I got all cleaned up. The pistons look good. So I'm gonna call this good. This one, like I said, guys, this one's only got 60,000 on here. So it's got the updated rings in here, the updated pistons. So I believe this lower end, if anything, we're gonna keep. Cylinder walls look good. You know, after I clean them up, you know, it didn't, with having the relief cuts in there, the valves probably just kissed them, not enough to damage the pistons at all. But looking at this head, another story. I actually pulled, this is the intake side here, I actually pulled the intake cam out, completely out, roller rockers out on the one side, other than the one that fell out on the exhaust side there. And you could still see that I still have open valves. So I pulled a couple of them out. These three right here we pulled out. And this is how bent they are. I mean, this is probably, I don't know if you guys are picking that up here. Let me set this on a flat surface here. And I mean, you guys can see how bent they are. Let me turn it a little bit. See, that would be straight. And that's how bent it is. So, and then you could see a piece of angle. I mean, that's pretty bent. So, needless to say, obviously this thing's gonna need some valves. The head, I'd have to have checked to see if it could be redone. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these two out. I'll show you guys how I did it here. So we got these two here. And what I like to do is throw a little grease keepers don't fly out. Screws will hold them in place. Got my little 19 socket here. Keepers here. Set them off to the side. Spring looks good. All right, let's get these guys out. There's two more, and I mean, you could see, try to get it turned so you can pick that up on camera, the way it's bent. So that one's bent that way. So if that's straight, look at how bad that is. I line it up at the bottom of the screen, you can see the angle. So you guys can see here, that's pretty much where it took the damage up at the top there. That's pretty bad there. I don't know if you guys are getting that. I'm not sure, I'm not a machinist. This may be salvageable. You could have my machine guy take a look at it and see, and then we can kind of go from there. For now, I'm going to pull all these valves out. You can see number 4 is all still open. There was my no compression issue for sure, but number 4, all the valves are still open and there's not even a cam in there. So we'll get the rest of these out, see what they look like. We'll see what the exhaust side looks like. All right, YouTube, pretty much cleaned it out as good as I'm gonna get. Pretty much bouncing back and forth between these brass little cleaners, pipe cleaner type things, back and forth with the drill, on the drill, being real easy, not to get crazy with it. Got a little cheap little kit there I'm using, but let me get the macro lens on there. All right, you can see they don't look like they took in any damage, so I think just new valves and a valve lapping job should seal these back up. So, but it took some real cleaning. I mean, that carbon is thick in there. This thing was definitely pretty gross, pretty dirty inside there. She definitely neglected the oil changes on this one and was probably putting the cheapest gas in town in here. But I think we're gonna be all right with this head. And then I was using this little plastic pry tool to kind of get down into the crevices. Just be real easy with it, but you know, plastic's not really gonna hurt aluminum as long as you're not digging into it. So I'm gonna wrap this one up, guys. Part 1 of the Operation Equinox, murdered out Equinox. I know for one thing, I'm definitely gonna stick with this lower end. I know these got the updated piston. I know for a fact that's gonna be decent. As far as the lower end goes, this head, I don't know, maybe I'll clean the rest of them out in-house and then give my machine guy a call and have him come pick this thing up and you know, double check it. I'm pretty sure it wasn't overheated or anything like that, so I'm not really worried about cracks or anything. I'm more or less just worried about when those valves bent, they didn't gouge up, you know, where those valves have to seal. But that's our one option. Obviously, our other option is we got a head on that other one. We could always flip-flop them over. Like I said, that's a LEF motor anyways, so I won't have to switch over the cams or anything like that, but I don't want to have to take apart another motor. I'd rather just pull that thing out, send it back as the core, and then have this one all ready to go. So let me know what you guys think. Give me your suggestions down in the comments, what you think we should do. I did price up a new head assembly too. They run about 600 bucks, and I think between buying a new head, gaskets, timing, all that stuff, I'll be way over budget on it. You know, I'm trying to keep this thing, you know, a budget build here, guys. So I think we're gonna end up just redoing this one with new valves, seals, all that good stuff. But leave your input down in the comment section. I appreciate all your guys' input on it. If you guys ran into this issue before with bent valves, email me, let me know your experience with it, but I think we're gonna be all right with this one. I think we're gonna be all right. So I'll know more on part 2. I'll start filming part 2 as soon as I get some time here. Send this head off to the machine guy, order the timing kit and all the good stuff, all the gaskets, and get back at it whenever we can. But as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Check me out on Instagram at CasperTech54. I'll try to post some pictures of this as soon as I can on here. We'll check you guys in the next one. Signing out.